But with all the stuff about North Carolina, we're all excited for Bill Belichick. And the anticipation for the Panthers, who might have a good year. There is nothing more exciting than what's going to happen tonight at 7 o'clock. Here is the intro from the New Heights podcast, the Kelce brothers, and tonight's special guest.
Our guest today is a singer, songwriter, and producer and director from Nashville, Tennessee. That's bullshit. She is from Reading, Pennsylvania. She is the most awarded artist in the history of the American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and iHeart Radio Music Awards. 14 Grammy Awards, and is the only artist in the history to win Album of the Year 4 times. Last December, she wrapped up the Eras Tour, which spanned 149 shows across 51 cities, 5 continents. Damn. It was the most attended tour of all time. I'm still going. Hold on. Her last album, The Torture Poets Department, set a record with 1.76 billion streams globally within the first week alone.
All right.
In the first week?
And as a fan of that guy on the Chiefs, she has 19 wins, 2 AFC titles, and a Super Bowl. 92 percenters! Are you ready for it? Making her podcasting debut, the most aggressive guest in the history of shows, Taylor Swift!
That intro, Jason! Oh my God!
I've seen this before.
No, look, his soul has left his body.
I'm cramping. I'm cramping.
No, that was so good. Thank you.
I tried, Tay.
Thank you for screaming for like 47 seconds. That was so nice. That was so sweet.
Tay, welcome to New Heights.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on my favorite podcast. As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
That was great! I cannot wait for a lot of reasons, and I know somebody else who is eagerly anticipating tonight at 7 o'clock on YouTube. My friend Caroline Darney for the win, Director of Programming and Community Engagement at CavFutures. She is definitely a Swiftie. First of all, are you wearing a Taylor Swift concert T-shirt right now?
It's funny you say that. I actually, first of all, thanks for having me. My favorite topic. And I actually last night did a couple back-to-back podcast episodes, not nearly as viewed or listened to as this one's going to be tonight. But I had the same in honor of the show tonight. I did wear the same one that Jason is wearing in that clip. I do have that same T-shirt from the Eras Tour. So not today, but it's happy Taylor Swift on New Heights Day to you, Adam.
Unbelievable! I am fired up for this. I like Taylor Swift. I am not necessarily a Swiftie. But one of the things that she said at the end is part of the reason I am so fascinated by this. Now, I am interested to see the dynamic with her and Jason and Travis, and we're going to talk about this. But what she said at the end is the chef's kiss moment. So aware, this is going to make men lose their minds.
Well, the thing to me that I think is going to be so fascinating is because of her her rise over the course of whatever decade it's been, decade plus since her first album came out. She's for sure at the pinnacle of her popularity. It's if you just look at the brands that spoofed or did a play on the life of a showgirl. The color, the glitter, the orange, whatever it was, just that impact alone, the number of views on the Instagram posts that announced her being on it, all of that stuff you can point at that. Because of some of that, and we don't have to get into whole Swiftie lore, but 2016 Reputation came out, there was a darker time for her, and she kind of disappeared for a couple years to stay out of the spotlight. And she's come back into it through music primarily, but she's not able to do normal celebrity stuff even. She's a celebrity among the celebrities. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't seen her. I don't think she's ever done a podcast. That's, and it's she's done fewer interviews. She did the Time Woman of the Year interview, but it's harder. She has to be more protective of her time and her space and like what edits get out and what information is that she can't travel publicly. Like if she goes to a restaurant and it's shared, then there's people waiting outside to take pictures, which is so weird. And don't do that, people. That's strange. But so I'm fascinated. I don't know how long the episode's going to be. I hope, but I doubt it'll go the full like hour and a half that they usually do with guests. But that being said, I think people are going to be surprised how funny she is and how like she is. Everyone thinks that because she's this incredible songwriter and has, stuff in her discography like the Tortured Poets Department or like Evermore and Folklore, that she's this, reclusive, artsy person that lives in the woods and has all these big feelings and talk. And she does have a lot of those things, but she's also very funny and very chill. And again, grain of salt for all of it because I've never met her, would love to, but but I think this is going to be a chance. We've never seen her interact really with a boyfriend. Definitely, we haven't seen her talk to Travis. Because there's no reason we should, but they haven't been able to do a red carpet together because of schedules. They've never been interviewed together at the same time. Like we've heard them each talk about the other one in various capacities, but we've never seen them together. And so I think it's all very interesting. I love that she chose this podcast to do the album information because she's done it on people are like, oh, that's beneath her. Why is she centering her album on a man to go on this podcast? I'm like, first of all, respect the podcast. Thank you. I think we all.
I mean,
but, you have the idea that she's announced albums on Instagram Live before,
right.
I think. You know what I mean? It's not, it doesn't have to be, she's not going to handwrite a letter on parchment with a quill pen and seal it with wax and send it off to be read it's her next album and this is how she wants to roll it out. And I love it. It's going to be fun.
Caroline Darney is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, a Swiftie of the highest order. I don't know if they're can you get knighted or anything like that for being a high Swifter? Here's the thing.
Well, I'll probably be a lower, one tier lower because I am not quite up on the people that do the numerology and the math around well, she said this one thing one time and that was 267 days ago, which is the same time that she wore that outfit with the orange, which if you calculate it.
Oh no.
Much for me. I get that part.
When we get into the numerology of it all. But I don't know what New Heights normally does, what kind of numbers they do for a normal show. I know people will be surprised what the threshold is to cross over into a top 10% podcast nationally. The number is not that high, right? But my guess is that this podcast today will probably do in the millions because of who she is. What do you have any guess as to what that number might be?
Oh gosh, if you told me that it hit, I think it hits. What would that be? 7 figures? I think it hits $1 million easy. I hope that, and I think part of the thing where it actually did follow a similar New Heights rollout. I don't listen to every episode. I like the podcast, but they follow a similar cadence with it. With its teasing the guests with the silhouette. And then they do kind of let people guess for a day or so. And then they have that short clip where they, reveal a bit of the interview. And then usually they did today, you played that awesome intro from Jason.
Tremendous.
They do that intro thing. They've had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Brad Pitt, Adam Sandler, Caitlin Clark. So they've had big names on there. But like I said, this is, I think one of the Instagram videos from Monday. I can't remember if it was the one where they basically confirmed she was coming on and they did that little 13-second clip, or if it was the album release one at midnight, past the 1 day most viewed Instagram reel mark in 15 hours. So there was one, I think Billie Eilish had her release thing for Hit Me Hard and Soft, her last album, was the one that held the standard for the 24-hour mark, and they passed that in 15. So I hope YouTube's ready. I don't know what ready looks like because Taylor Swift's website is not new to this, and it crashed at 12 a.m. when everyone tried to reload and see what was,
right.
What the countdown was for. So I think it's going to hit. No, if you told me like 15 million, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
20. I think the debate is like, is it going to pass the Joe Rogan, Elon podcast type thing? And I was like, it might. Like, I don't think you guys can understand how popular she is.
Well, I think people do. And certainly she made football fans angry for no apparent reason other than every time the Chiefs were on television, which is basically every week. I'm talking national television because every game is televised. But every time the Chiefs were on TV and she was there, there were like 10 to 15, hey, let's see how Taylor Swift reacted to that play. So, and people and football fans who are definitely threatened, they got mad. Look, I don't think I'm saying anything that I know there are people out who are denying it, but those people are the ones who are angry. Like men were threatened by it.
Silly. It's so silly because first of all, like, obviously as someone who's worked in sports for several, decade now, sports are not men's, like just for men. It's not a male space to want to watch football or whatever. And it's they're forcing her down, they're forcing them to see her. Like, it's what I think they calculated it was under a minute in like a 4-hour broadcast. Yeah. Like, if you can't handle that, I don't know what to tell you. Like, she's not asking for it. She's not hamming it up. She's literally just there to support her boyfriend, which seemed lovely. And then he in turn went to the Eras tour. And I was like, show him more. I want to see more reactions. It's cute. Like, I'm in the camp where I'm like, you're not showing her enough. Like, give me more of this. I want to see the full outfit. I want to see who she's sitting with. Like, did she like that catch? Like,